Let's get into golf though. So you are you're playing in the QBE shootout. It used to be called the Shark Shootout. I think it's just called the QBE shootout now. You're playing with Sam Burns. You guys really seem to have, for lack of a better term, you guys have kind of figured it out, the two of you together. What is it about your game? Last year, you guys finished fourth at the Zurich, had a really great week. I know you had I think you had a bad Saturday or a bad early round on Sunday. Things didn't go great, but you guys played really, really well. What is it about his game and your game that really matches so well together?
Yeah, so I've gotten to know Sam really well over the last 18 months roughly.
Even though he's an LSU boy, you still find a way to get along with him.
Exactly. You know what? He's a good kid, and I won't hold LSU against him as he won't hold the Florida Gators against me. But one of my buddies, a good friend out on tour, Travis Perkins, caddies for him. So obviously talking to Travis, Sam just was a great kid. I was looking for a partner for Zurich, and it worked out that Sam didn't have one, and Travis, his caddy's like, hey, how about you play with Sam? Would you want to play with Sam? And so at the time, Sam and I have two the same people working for us, a stats guy, my stats guy, Mark Horton, his stats guy. Mark's been working for me for 8 years now. I think he's been with Sam for maybe about a year and a half now. And then we have a sports psychologist and Brett McCabe together.
Yeah, we've had Brett on the podcast before too.
Yeah.
He's great.
And so made a couple calls to them, said, hey, do you guys think this would be really good? Brett said, oh, man, this would be awesome. You guys would be great personalities, fit really well. From the stats side, I want to make sure Horsey said, as a teammate of mine, that it would pair up well. And he's like, yes, it'd be great. And so it's awesome. Sam's a great kid. He's 25 years old. He's one of the next younger generation players coming up that I think can be an absolute superstar. That can be a top 10 player in the world for a while. He drives it really well. He hits it really far. He putts it really good. Two really important things to do. He's a really good iron player. His wedges and short game have improved. So I think the sky's the limit for Sam. I think he's got a immense talent. And now it just comes down to being more consistent day in and day out, making your bad even better. Because we already know his great's really good.
Right.
And it's just having that belief. And he's got that belief in him, which is vital. He believes when he's in the ring, the ball's in his hand, he wants to take that shot. He wants the last shot at the end of the game. And so he's not afraid of the moment. So we fit very well together. We're 10 years apart in age. He jokes around that we're going to be partners of the Zurich Classic for many years to come, even if it means he has to push me around in a wheelchair at TPC Louisiana. So that is great to know that I have someone who will be pushing me in a wheelchair on the golf course and maybe even off the golf course when I do happen to be in a wheelchair. So yeah, he's awesome. I love the kid to death, and we match up really well. I think personality wise, game wise, he hits it further than I do. I'm my wedge game's improved dramatically, and we're both really great putters. So that's a massive thing to have as a partner. And it's going to be fun over the next, I don't know, maybe 10 years of playing events in the Zurich Classic, QBE, and hopefully we can both be on a Ryder Cup and Presidents team together and get paired up then.
Wow, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. You mentioned something there that Sam's one of the best younger generation players that you're seeing right now. Is there anybody else? Because the talent coming out of college right now, they are pouring onto the tour and they are just ready to compete right away, which we didn't see that, a long time ago. It really has changed for whatever reason that is. Are there any young players right now that you see coming out that you absolutely think are bar the door, this guy's going to be good?
Yeah. There's so obviously, I think there's the names. It's funny. TV's changed a lot in the way they are now showcasing these younger generation players earlier before they really become that next star or become big stars on the PGA Tour. So people know the Will Zalatoris, people know the Scotty Schefflers. You got Sungjae Im, who's already won a couple times out on the PGA Tour. There's a lot of guys coming up through that. I think now what you're going to see, you're going to know these names even before they even get on PGA Tour because of the PGA Tour, the college rankings that the PGA Tour has employed. Obviously, one of my sponsors, Velocity Global, is the sponsor of those rankings. So There's some great kids in that rankings now. I think the Texas A&M kid who's number 1, Sam Bennett, I believe his name is. He's going to be playing in the Dubai Desert Classic. They're giving a spot to the number 1 guy this fall who was in number 1 at the end of the fall, and that was Sam. So you're going to start seeing these guys or knowing these names even before while they're still in college, before they get on the Korn Ferry Tour, before they get on the PGA Tour. So it's the younger generation is just so much more prepared for life out on the PGA Tour than ever before. Obviously, there are still things to learn that they, when you get out there to travel, making a schedule, figuring out how to practice, life off the course. So, but they're prepared in the sense of the game that they have that, when they step out there, their game can compete day one on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. How good is it for you as a player and as a friend to see Tiger Woods swinging a golf club again in what looks like a pretty good golf swing?
Yeah. When he posted that video, it was, he posted, I think Sunday when I was in Dubai. And I think Dan Mullen may have just found out Dan Mullen got fired. It was somewhere in there. Dan Mullen got fired. Tiger Woods posted a video, or Tiger Woods posted the video, and Dan Mullen got fired.
Right.
I was like, in both situations, like, oh my God, can you believe this? I'm telling my wife, Brittany, like, God, babe, look at this. I mean, Tiger Woods is swing. And listen, I've talked to Tiger, numerous times since his accident. I've never asked him about, is he hitting golf balls? Is he doing anything with that? Just ask how his recovery's doing, how he's doing mentally as a person, how his kids are doing. I was shocked, just like everyone else in the golf world, when he posted that video, and I was running around the room just like everyone else was when they saw the video. So it was really great to see. His swing looked really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, there does look a little hindrance there in the sense his right leg. The way the hip speed and to be able to push off that right side, it does look a little bit different. But you know what? I'm just happy that he's able to swing and be able to live a life that, he was accustomed to before, and sense of being able to play with his kids and move around and enjoy that aspect. And if golf happened to be something you could also do, it was sort of a bonus. So it's been really cool to see. I'm excited to see what is to come in the future and what events he decides to play. Obviously, he talked about that he is going to, sort of take a dramatically reduced schedule on the PGA Tour. Not that he played a lot already,
Right.
but it's gonna be reduced a lot more. So
he did mention St. Andrews by name next year. I know that seems to be a goal. I'm sure the Masters is a goal. The Players is always a goal. I think the Players may be a little bit too soon. We're less than 100 days away, but who knows?
But I think
you can't ever rule anything out.
No, you can't. I mean, this guy has proven us wrong time and time again. I think when you look at what he's said, you look at courses that aren't, 7,800 yards long, and you look at courses that are easier to walk. Augusta's a tough walk, but it's Augusta. So he would get primed up to play Augusta all the time. Obviously, St. Andrews is a pretty easy walk. Now, if you're looking at outside the majors, and that's where I look at, like, what events could he play outside the majors?
Right.
I look at maybe play Hilton Head now, but the only issue is Hilton Head's the week after Augusta, so he could be really exhausted after that week physically. So that would be, if it was in a different spot in the schedule, he may play because it's one of the easiest walks on tour. The Players Championship is a very easy walk, and the course isn't overly long. Now, I'm not saying the guy's puffing it out to 250 anymore. I'm sure he still can hit it 290, 300 easily.
Right.
But, he doesn't have that 2, 3, 4 extra gears he's always had.
Hey, let's not put down hitting at 250. I'd love to hit at 250 straight. All right. Let's be easy here, Billy. No, but I would like to see him back out again. I mean, golf needs Tiger Woods. It's better with him. You can see the needle move. He is the needle when he posts swings like that. And he was on the range a lot over the weekend at Albany.
He was.
So he's obviously hitting balls and then able to do it again the very next day. Not that he has to take 2 or 3 days off. So that's a good sign.
Well, I mean, what people got to remember, he just had a back surgery before the accident. So he had to recover the back as well as, the injuries he sustained in the car crash. So to see him be able to hit balls day the next day and the next day after that and the next day after that is a really great sign. He's building up that endurance. He's building up his golf endurance. Now, the big thing, as we've talked about, is the walking. That's a different aspect of it. And it's, if there is a weakness in the sense of, how much strength he has in his right side and his leg, that does sort of tend to, that will show up later on. But listen, he said it, golf's still going to be in his life. It may just be in a different aspect than what he's normally used to doing. But I think he's in a great spot, and golf does need him. And I think the biggest thing, like I think everyone thought about when he got in that crash, was just survive, stay alive, survive.
Be able to be a dad.
Be able to be a dad, be able to be that. And then if there's a way that you can still be in golf in some form or fashion, that would be awesome. And we're going to have that. And so the entire golf world, the entire world in general, we're just very blessed that we still have this unbelievable figure, this legend of a guy on and off the golf course still in our life, because unfortunately we did lose one of those guys in 2020 in Kobe. And that was a sad, unbelievably sad day for everyone. And to think that we could have had that same situation with Tiger a year later, I mean, that would just been really hard to take for a lot of people.
I agree. Speaking of when we were talking earlier, you mentioned Dan Mullen getting fired and uninformed opinions, and I'm speaking more of myself than yours because you're a little more plugged into the Florida Gators than I am. We have had a lot of coaching changes in college football. I mean, the college football world has turned upside down. I know that from the move from Lincoln Riley going from Oklahoma going to USC, and the Gators letting go of Dan Mullen and hiring Billy Napier, there have been a lot of coaching changes. So I want to go over the 6 main coaching changes and ask you what your opinion is. And I'm going to hold the Gator one to the last one, because that's obviously the one I care the most about.
Maybe not informed opinions. Let's just make sure.
Right,
they may be opinions, but they're not informed opinions.
That's fine. All right. Let's start with one of our rivals, UM. UM hires Mario Cristobal away from Oregon. I'm not sure I understand that move.
Well, I mean, Mario played at the Miami. He's from down there. They're looking at some way to revive that fan base, revive the sort of UM sort of swagger that they've had for so many years that they've lost for a while now. They're trying to bring that back. And I don't think it's a bad hire. I think in the sense of, like I said, a guy who understands Miami, a guy who played there, knows the area very well, understands what they're trying to get done down there.
Great recruiter.
Great recruiter. I don't think it's a bad hire. Do I know how well of a coach he is? Like, I haven't really paid too much of a coach. Yeah. I know he's done some good stuff out in Oregon.
I know those facilities in Oregon.
They got their butts whooped twice by Utah this year.
They did. But I'm going to tell you right now, those facilities in Oregon are a whole lot nicer than what you're going to head to in Coral Gables.
Correct. And you know what? That's the thing. Miami's trying to get back to relevance in the college football realm, trying to get back to what they were in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s. But unfortunately, they're doing it with a very small piggy bank when everyone else has got, Fort Knox, behind them. They're doing it with a piggy bank, and everyone else has got Fort Knox.
That's
and
tough.
So it's a tough situation that they've got going on there. But the thing that they've got, and not that other programs don't, because they do, but their former Hurricane football players are very prominent people in the sports world in the sense of being on TV, and they really push hard to try and make it, get that back. So he's got a lot of support from, the former, Hurricane football players that were legends in the NFL. Really.
Yeah, Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Jimmy Johnson. There's a lot of guys that came out of the U that were, they were football royalty, like you said, in the 80s and in the 90s. So we'll see if he can get it done. Second one, Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma to go to USC. Is this I don't want to have anything to do when Oklahoma moves to the SEC move? Is that what this is? So
this is my opinion, uninformed, ill-informed. I am, and stating that right away.
Right.
I think it does have something to do with that. I think what it really has is I think he's going to be in the NFL in 5 years, 5 to 7 years is the way I see it. Yeah. I think if that is what he wants to do, is be an NFL coach, at some point, if that's what one of his goals or desires to be, moving to the SEC, Oklahoma going to the SEC, could it have a hindrance on the way NFL coaches see him if he doesn't have the success in the SEC as he had
I
in
thought of that.
the Big 12? So let me go out to Pac-12, where I'm going to go to a dynasty in the USC, which they've been, they haven't been great the last few years, but they're,
Right, the
they're a
history's there.
powerhouse in the
Yeah.
history and everything. Obviously, they got a ton of money. Let me go out there. Let me revamp that program, get that program back to prominence, get that program back to being a top 5, top 10, football program in the rankings every year, competing for national titles. And then I can, run off to the NFL where, that's where he wants to maybe have his next challenge.
Right, absolutely. You know what? That's not. I don't think that's a bad opinion at all. Number 3, and the way he did it is really just gives me the creeps. Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame to go to LSU. Is LSU a better job than Notre Dame after you've been there for 12 years? And I mean, he had success there.
He did. So once again, ill-informed opinion coming here. I think he should have stayed. Yes, LSU is an easier spot to recruit than Notre Dame. Notre Dame has the academics that is a massive hindrance of getting some elite talent. But he's going to LSU. I think he's going to be fired in 3 or 4 years. I know. I don't.
There's a lot of history there, man. Saban won a title. Les Miles won a title. Ogeron won a title. Anything less than a title is a failure compared to the last 3 guys.
I don't like to be negative and sort of give everyone a short straw before things have happened. But the thing I look at, and I'm not NFL analyst or anything like that, or a college football analyst, but I would have to. This is where I would go talk to maybe a Tim Tebow or a Greg McElroy or Aaron Rodgers' brothers. I'm drawing a blank on his name for SEC.
I know his name. I know who you're talking about, though.
But talk to some of the people that I know, or that other people that are in that realm who breaks down football games and college games, and that's what they do for a living. I think when Notre Dame's been in the playoff and they've lost to, Alabama or whoever they've lost to, a lot of the analysts go, well, they just don't have the talent that Alabama or some of these other schools do. Like, they have some talented players, but the depth of talent isn't very deep.
Right.
And I agree with that. But as a coach, I feel like you should be able to scheme and try and figure out a way to put your players in the best situation to succeed, even if your talent does not match up with another school. And so I think he's been outcoached in some of these games, even though he hasn't the talent. I think maybe he's been outcoached. So I'm curious to see, and I'm hoping I'm proven wrong, but I may not be. Is Brian Kelly a coach that can outcoach as Nick Saban, or can outcoach a Kirby Smart? Can he scheme in that sense? Dan Mullen was an unbelievable offensive-minded coach, and he had a game plan and could out scheme other coaches with his offense, and he's been known that for his entire history as a coach. Is Brian Kelly, does he have that in him? I don't know. I'm not informed enough to say he's going to be able to out scheme a Nick Saban or a Kirby Smart when it comes time to it, even with the better talent players he's going to have.
The Notre Dame hire, they hired Freeman, their D coordinator. I actually like that hire. Those players were fired up to have him as their head coach. Now, will it work? I don't know, but I'm not sure that anybody out there was glaringly better than him. I know Lou Fickell at Cincinnati was somebody they were looking at. I don't think he wants to leave Cincinnati. I believe that Fickell would like to end up at Ohio State eventually, because that's where he played and he's coached there in the past. But I like the Notre Dame hire. Do you?
I love it. I think Marcus Freeman's a really great up-and-coming coach. Obviously, this is his first big head coaching job, but you look at what he's done as a defensive coordinator. You look at what he's done as a recruiter. He's had a lot of success, was successful there at Cincinnati. Obviously, he had the opportunity to go join LSU as their defensive coordinator, but he chose to go to Notre Dame last year. Right. That guy is awesome. I think that guy's going to be really great. And I hope he is, because I think he's got that persona, and he has that sort of swagger the players love, and he coaches and he
Right.
recruits well. So now it comes down to, it's one thing to be a defensive coordinator, and that's what you got to control. Now you're the head coach, and now you're the CEO of this entire
Right.
program. How does he put his stamp in, and how does he get it all figured out and run the right way? Because as you've seen in the past, a lot of times when someone's become a head coach for the first time, even as they've been successful as a defense coordinator or offense coordinator, they struggle a lot, or a lot of the guys have struggled the first time they become a head coach at a big time program, or even any program at
There's
that.
a lot more
So
responsibility involved. A whole lot more.
correct,
Whole lot
correct.
more
But
responsibility.
I think the big thing is that he's got the offense coordinator, that Tommy Reese, who's played there, is staying there. So the system's implemented. I think he's just going to let Tommy do his thing. He's going to be the head coach. He's going to bring in his defensive coordinator, who he wants, who he's going to work with, on the defensive side. And he's just sort of going to be, I think he's going to be a really good CEO and be able to delegate and sort of control the things he needs to control, and really put the trust in the people he brings in around them.
The OU hire, Brent Venables, coming out of Clemson. You like that hire?
Yeah, I think that's a great hire. Obviously, first time I believe being a head coach, but you look at what I mean. He's been an unbelievable defensive coordinator at Clemson. He's been under one of the best coaches over the last decade, and
Yeah.
Dabo Sweeney. So I think he has a really good plan. That's like I said, I'm ill-informed. I don't know that for a fact, but if you've been as great as he's been for so many years, and you've got an idea, and he's could have taken any job he's wanted probably over the last 5 years,
Right.
and he's just been happy at Clemson. I think he's been waiting for the right job, and the
I agree.
job that really suits him well. And he's had a game plan. He's had things in line. He's had notes of what he would do as a head coach, all this other stuff. Same thing with Marcus Freeman. They have notes and things that they've learned and watched from their times at other programs, their times at the program they've been at, and how they would do things a little bit differently, and things that they've learned that they would implement if they were the head coach.
All right, and last but not least, the one I want to hear the most. We've texted about it back and forth. Billy Napier hired by the Florida Gators. I love it. I like what he said in his opening press conference. I like what he laid out. What's your opinion on the Billy Napier hire for our Gators?
Yeah, he's going to be a great hire. Brett McCabe is my sports psychologist, as I've said, and Brett works with the Alabama athletic program. So obviously, he works very closely with a lot of the athletes and coaches at Alabama, specifically the football program. So he was a big fan of Billy Napier. He wanted Billy Napier to go to LSU really badly. I remember we talked to him for the last couple of months about it, and he would tell me about this Billy Napier guy, about LSU, and I'm like, I'm listening, but I'm not really listening. I'm like, you know, okay, I don't really care about LSU, Brett. Like I
Right.
care because it's you and their coaches. I wonder what they're going to do, but it's not that big of a deal to me. And then when we got rid of Mullen and Billy Napier was obviously a name mentioned, I called Brett. And I said, okay, give me the lowdown on Billy. I haven't really been paying attention. We've been talking to me about him. Tell me again what you said. And so he's like, listen, he will be great. He's got an awesome plan. Obviously, like I said, he's worked under Dabo Sweeney. He's worked under Nick Saban. A lot of these guys that are, there's a good chance they're going to be a head coach and possibly take over, any head coaching job, but especially one maybe at a big time program. They've got things they've learned, things they would do, things how they would do things differently, how things would be set up and organized. And so he's got a really good plan. I don't know the plan, but I'm very certain that he's got every I dotted and every T crossed. And how he wants things done and how things are going to be done. So there's not going to be much missed in sense of details, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I hate to see how the Mullen kind of thing
Yeah,
just unraveled so fast. I mean, we went from
it's
a year ago, we were in the SEC championship game and we were competitive. I mean, we gave Alabama all they could handle. Nobody played them as close as we did last year, all year, than we did in the SEC championship game. And then it just felt like everything came unraveled so damn fast.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, Molin's a good friend. Him and Megan are good friends of ours, and it was tough to see. I was really excited for what he's done the first 3 years, and I think like a lot of Gator fans, we went into having high hopes again this year.
Hmm.
Obviously, we knew we lost some big time players off our team, but we still had a lot of talented players and how things are going to play out. You know, did we all agree Todd Grantham should have come back? I don't know. I was sort of 50-50. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt because it was COVID year. They didn't have the practices and everything. But, did that hurt him? I have no clue.
Right.
It's
Recruiting
tough.
wasn't stellar. I mean, recruiting was not stellar. I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
and that's the other side of it. I understand we didn't recruit well. Obviously, we've had it. I think we've been in the top 10 this 3 years. He's been there at least the last 2 years before this cycle. But as I've told people, at least told Gator fans on social media sites and people I've come across, it's tough to recruit when you've got a piggy bank. When you're showing a piggy bank and you go to other programs and they're being shown Fort Knox. And
Right.
what I mean in that is that we have been in the early 2000s, if we were ahead of the football facility race, we had fallen behind dramatically. And yes, we are fixing the remedy. We're remedying that situation. We're going to have a standalone, unbelievable football facility complex or all athlete football facility complex come the next spring. But at the end of the day, people forget these kids are 15, 14, 18-year-old impressionable kids that, they're going to understand, some things, but they're going to be impressed by the glitz and glamour of going to Alabama and seeing a waterfall in the coal tank area, and then
Right.
they're going to have a sauna with the TVs everywhere,
Right.
whatever it may be at Alabama or Clemson, wherever
They've got a
they
rap
go.
studio. The Alabama literally, honestly, has a music music recording studio as part of their facilities. We are building one as well now in Gainesville. But you're right. That kind of stuff just
And
it
that's
influences the decision.
and so that's why I said, like, I've said to people, I said, we're not playing, we're playing with knives and they're playing with guns. I mean,
Right.
that's the analogy, I'm just
Right.
using, but that's what it was like. And, but at the end of the day, the one thing I would say that I thought we did really well is we actually killed the transfer portal. Like, we absolutely dominated the transfer portal, because I think what kids realize is, as teenagers, they thought they knew what they wanted when they went there. And after a few years, they realized, wow, this isn't what I expected. This isn't what I expected from my coaches. And then when they went back and started looking for a new school, they saw Dan and his staff and what they could do and produce and everything. So that's why we did so well in the transfer portal. But at the end of the day, there's some other stuff behind the doors that I don't know. So I'm making an ill-informed opinion of the situation.
That has been that's the gist of this podcast. Do not make ill-informed opinions without or prefacing that they are ill-informed. Like, at least say, hey, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this is what I think.
Exactly. So there's other stuff behind the closed doors that I'm not aware of,
right,
that 99% of the Gator Nation aren't aware of. Right. So, but the thing is that Scott Strickland has done an unbelievable job. We have great associate athletic directors, and that our UAA is one of the best, if not, it is the best in the country, in my opinion, in the sense of the way they handle business and do things, not just for football, but for all sports in general. So, yes, it's been a crazy 10 years with, 4 different coaches now. And, just like I am just like all the other Gator fans, we're tired of this coaching carousel. We want someone who wants to be here. We want someone who's going to do an unbelievable job and yeah, as Scott said, maintain a level of consistency that we are accustomed to at Gator Nation.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a stepping stone job for Napier.
No,
I feel he wants to be
so.
here, and I think he'll stay for a long time if he has success.
Yeah,
Billy, I have kept you much longer than I told you I would. But before I let you go, we got to get a quick emergency 9 in, because of course we can't leave without playing a little bit. So here we go. I'm going to ask you 9 quick questions, and you just give me the first thing that comes to mind. First, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
Yes.
It is not.
Yes.
It is not. It's at Christmas, but it's not about Christmas.
It's a Christmas. Who cares? Tell me what defines a Christmas movie?
It's got to be about Christmas.
It is about Christmas. Just celebrating Christmas in the holiday party. Who cares if it's an action movie where people are getting killed and Bruce Willis is hanging outside buildings and everything? There's a Christmas party going on. So It's a Christmas movie. It may not be the most happy-go-lucky Christmas movie, but at the end of the day, Bruce Willis saved the day.
They're not showing it on the Hallmark Channel, is what you're saying.
They're not showing on the Hallmark
They're
Channel.
not.
No.
All right, here we go. Next, would you rather win if you could take your pick? You get one more win: Masters, U.S. Open, Open Championship, the PGA, or the Players. You got to pick one. I think I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to be surprised if you don't.
You have no clue what I'm going to say.
I do. Okay, here, hold on. Ready? I'm going to write it down. Hold on. I'm going to write down what I think you're going to say, just because I know what it means to you. Hold on. And I could be wrong, but listen. All right, I got it written down.
This has changed throughout my career. This has changed.
Okay, so you're saying that what I wrote down could have been right at one point?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay.
As long as I could remember until about the last 5 or 7 years, 5 years, probably 7 years.
Okay.
I've always said U.S. Open. I wanted to win the U.S. Open. It's every man event. That's the one I wanted to win.
Right. Not what I wrote down.
It has changed after, I had, what was it? I think 2018, I missed a couple majors because I wasn't qualified for.
Mm-hmm.
And after missing 2 majors, I was like, wow, man, I do miss playing in those. Those events are great. But one really stood out more than the other.
Okay.
And the Players has never been there. I would love when the Players.
Okay, so that's what I had written. That's what I had. I had to play.
But it's the Open Championship.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It's the history. It's the claret jug. I love the support that the fans of the British Open fans have, the knowledge, the level of knowledge for the game, that they know what a good golf shot is. They clap at the appropriate time. It's just something else about them. They're the most knowledgeable fans anywhere in the world when it comes to the game of golf. So
I noticed your attachment to them at the BMW. I noticed I saw a different look in your eye in the appreciation that you had for them when you won the BMW championship. I could see it.
Yeah. And so they've been great to me, but like I said, about 3-4 years ago, it sort of changed to the Open Championship, and, you get to play it until you're 60, I think now. So, that would be great.
All right, I would have lost that because my second one. If you'd have given me 2 chances, I would have picked the Masters as my second one.
The Masters is my second one.
So
we would have been good.
So we'd have been good
on the Masters. Yeah.
You're listening to music on the golf course. What is it? Rock, hip hop, country, or something else?
Whatever I feel like that day. I listen to a wide variety of music. I have there is no specific genre. I'll listen to rap. I'll listen to rock, country. I'll listen to classic music. I'm really all over the map. So it's sort of more or less what kind of mood I'm feeling that day. I would say my go-to is probably like 90s alternative and grunge. So,
okay. Like a little Nirvana.
Yeah. Nirvana. I love Pearl Jam. I had some of that stuff in there. Like that's big for me.
All right. What shows are you binge watching right now when you have time?
I'm a big Yellowstone. I love Yellowstone. I watch quite a few shows. The morning show.
You
on
like
Apple
Ted Lasso?
TV. I love. Love Ted Lasso.
I knew you had to be a Ted Lasso guy.
Yeah, big time Ted Lasso. So as I tell people, obviously when you travel a lot, you have a lot of free time. You read a lot of books, or you watch a lot of shows and movies.
Right.
And I watch a ton of shows and movies and read very few books. I say very few. It's very few. Every year is like, okay, I'm gonna at least try and read one book a month, and then I read that first book in January, and then that second book in February never materializes. But I probably keep up with at one point, I think I wrote it all down. I was keeping up with like 30 shows. Yeah. But now I'm probably down like 15.
Okay. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Cardio or weight training? What do you prefer?
Oh man. I'll probably go weight training.
Really? Because you were heavy into the Peloton for a little while.
Yeah, I'm back on it. I'm actually, I've actually found more time. Well, I can't say found more. I've just, made sure that I get on the bike now. But, my wife's been doing the bike a lot lately. And so I've been doing it more often over the last couple of months. And so, what I've done lately is, I'll do like a weight lift. I'll go work out with my trainer, Alex Bennett, on a Monday, and then Tuesday I wake up and go do the Peloton for 30, 45 minutes and do some core stuff. And the next day weight training, then Peloton. So on and off every day is a little bit, one day's weight training, next day's Peloton.
Yeah, I see Brittany in the Cody Rigsby class quite often. So
she loves Cody.
She does. She loves Cody Rigsby. I do.
Cody, I think Allie Love are her 2 favorites. So
yeah, I see her in there.
I'm an Alex Toussaint guy.
You are.
I like being
did.
cussed. I like being yelled at.
Yeah.
So
I made the mistake of trying to do an Alex Toussaint ride with you one time. I didn't finish that class.
yeah.
I didn't. I did a lot of watching and a lot of like, oh my goodness, I know I'm not ready for this. Your social media account of choice: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm not sure you're a TikTok guy.
Not a TikTok guy.
No.
I'm only Instagram. Instagram. I gave up Twitter 18 months ago. I handed it off to my management team. I'm still obviously aware.
And you're a
of
much
everything
happier
that's posted.
guy, I oppose.
Very
I
happier
yeah,
guy.
see
You
what I
know,
mean?
and the reason I gave it up is because, and honestly, I'm being blunt here. I just literally got sick and tired of reading people's dumb
Right.
comments,
Right. People
idiotic
being
comments
mean.
that are on there that just had no reason for being said other than they just want to say it because, they're just idiots. And I mean, I just got sick
Keyboard
and tired of it.
cowboys. They will say stuff to you on a
Yeah.
keyboard they would never say to your face
Well,
at a golf tournament ever.
and it's not even so much me. Yes, obviously, just like everyone in the public eye, we get plenty of stuff thrown at us. But
Right.
it was just stuff like even in regular day life that people were complaining about, and like it just got to the point where I'm like, you know what, this
I'm
is
done with this.
ridiculous. I'm done with this, and I'll just stick to my video watching and picture watching on Instagram.
Exactly. It is much better. I agree with you. When it comes to wings, your drums are a flats guy.
Both,
Both.
both.
You don't have
Yeah.
I'm a flats guy.
No, I like them both. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know some people have their preference.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a flats guy, but
Yeah, I'm a
I
flats
like them
guy.
both. And when they give you the option, you just want drums or flats. I'm like, yeah, get them both in there.
And last but not least, what's on Billy's Christmas list this year? Come on, I know Brittany's got to be getting you something that
No,
you want.
I haven't. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, my family hates me for this because I never have anything on my list because I live a life now that whenever I want something, I get it when I want it.
Oh,
And
that's what
then
Lisa says about me. Lisa says all the time. She's like, I don't know what to get you because every time you want something, you just go buy it.
and then if there is something I want, it's so expensive. I'm not going to tell them to go get it for me.
Right. Exactly.
So, I
Right.
mean, I would love for Santa to bring me a brand new boat, a nice Pathfinder 26.
You just got a
foot
boat not
TRS.
long ago. You don't need a new boat already. You just
Yeah,
got one.
but I need a boat that's, I can go back in like the little creeks and everything around,
Oh, okay.
Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra and everything,
Yeah.
and St. Augustine, go fishing.
Okay.
The Grady White sort of, I got to worry about getting it stuck if it's
Right.
low tide. So
Yeah, we don't need that.
I need more of a little smaller fishing boat. So, but
That's
no,
an
I don't need
expensive
anything.
get, though. Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah, you don't need that.
Expensive get, so
That's an expensive get. I think you should just worry about your son's Christmas lift and the girls. You just worry about them this year.
Exactly.
Well, Billy, I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for always being so candid. Where can we see you? I know we're going to see you at the QBE shootout. We'll see you, obviously, I guess Hawaii will be the next time.
Yeah, so I'll play the first two Hawaii events, Maui and Sony. Love it out there. Obviously, you just can't beat it. I just wish Hawaii wasn't so far away.
There's
and
no
then,
good way there from Jacksonville, man. There really is
there
no
isn't.
quick way there.
No, there isn't. But I'm gonna play. If you followed my schedule for the last 5 years, I play every event the same. Every event's the same. I'll do Hawaii, Sony, Farmers. Hawaii, Sony, Farmers, Phoenix, then get back over and do Honda Bay Hill Players. So my schedule pretty much is the same on repeat every year. But we'll add a few European Tour events on this year, sort of towards the summer / back half of the year, which I'm excited about.
Good deal. Well, Billy, thank you so much for your time, man. Good luck at the QBE. Have a great holiday, man. Love to your family and everything, and you enjoy it, man.
Thanks, Froggy. Enjoyed it, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. We will talk to you soon. Thanks again for tuning in to the Stripe Show podcast on a Froggy Wednesday, and we will talk to you guys again soon. We are going to take a little bit of a couple weeks off for the holiday, so be prepared for that, and then we will fire up again next year at the Tournament of Champions when they are in Hawaii. So thanks so much for tuning in to the Stripe Show podcast.